Let's talk top 14 then, because we have one round of regular season games to go. Round 25 is in the books, and we'll talk about some of the results, some of the performances, some of the implications, but it's all eyes on the final round of regular season spots. It's all eyes on second bottom in the table, Stade Français on Perpignan, who's going to have to face the access match and go to the Pro D2 final, losing finalists home to survive again another season in the top 14. And it's all eyes on the playoff spots as well. Who's going to make it into the top 6? And what will the position of the teams be in second, third? Who's going to get the week
home
off?
Semis, yeah. The home semis, the week off. Sorry, I say home semis. In top 14, it's not home semis. In top 14, they play in Lyon this time, I think.
Exactly.
The semi-final weekend. And the town shuts down. They put on the huge events. And on the Friday and Saturday, you have 2 games. And the first semi and second semi. It's an epic weekend in the town.
And Joe Worsley knows only too well from your time going through the top 14 playoffs. With Cast.
Yeah, the final semi-final weekends were in Nice. So Nice, we beat Toulouse in Nice, an epic night. A load of my friends went, sat with the kind of Cast ultras and had one of the best nights of their life with an electric atmosphere, an incredible match, and then it's just an incredible result at the end to get to the final. Yeah. Next day it was UBB versus who beat UBB? Montpellier beat UBB in the other semi to get through.
Oh, so a final with the 2 clubs you love most in France. Beautiful thing. Who's going to make it through to the final? Who's going to win the top 14 this year remains to be seen. Let's start at the top, though, and let's be completely honest and open that we are recording this 25 minutes before Bordeaux kick off against Toulon.
Yeah, but it's an interesting call we're going to make, isn't it? Because I honestly thought, I said the way the fixtures fall, I thought they're going to completely turn their team, send the bin juice down to Toulon, and just make sure they beat Vannes by 5 points at home and then have another week off home semi. But it's a bit more complicated than that, because if they finish equal on points, they only beat Toulon by 4 points at home. And if Toulon win by more than 4 points and they finish on equal points, I think it's Toulon who go through. So to avoid any risk of next week Toulon going to Bayonne and winning by a bonus point try bonus point as well, so get 5 points, because I'm sure they get 5 points against Vannes. Probably dead in the water, nothing really to play for. They're going to put out a decent team, I'd imagine, as well, UBB. I think UBB want to make sure they shut this game down a bit. Maybe stop Toulon getting a bonus, put a decent team in, because Coleman's going, Gray's going, Tama Fafina, Mia Fu. They got some really, really good players going down.
Yeah. So let's just talk about that. They've been, Ben Tamifuna in particular, been on a bender for days, and he is
swapping his clothes with police officers, just walking around town. Yeah, he's had an incredible week, hasn't he, the man, since the European Cup final. I mean, anyone's seen maybe we'll paint it on, but the spirit in Bordeaux was incredible. The scenes on the streets, it was magic. It was magic. So, and he got really stuck in, as did most of the players, I think.
So I'm going to predict, I'm not necessarily predicting an UBB win, but I think I'm going to predict that 5 points on a win on the final day will see Bordeaux into second spot.
Yeah, I think that they're going to go down and fight. I think Toulon are playing for everything a bit. They're going to chuck it all at this game. I think they have to, in a way. But the problem is, if they chuck it all this game, they've got a game next week, they've got to win in Bayonne. Then they'll go maybe barrages, then semi. It's a big lot of games in a row. I know they had European Cup final weekend off, but they're going to have to go for this game. So they'll be stuck in. So they could win by a bonus, but with the team Bordeaux are putting out, it's less likely. And then to go to Bayonne and get 5 points when Bayonne are kind of playing for their position as well is not massively likely. Bayonne had a shocker against Cast and got stuffed last weekend, so they're going to be raging at the bit, raging to get a good game there as well, because they can again get a home barrage if they hold their position. So there's a lot of reasons I think UBB are going to go through. A lot of reasons.
As you say,
straight to the semis.
Yeah, as you say, the fight for 4th, 5th, 6th is absolutely fierce. Bayonne, you think, are going to make the playoffs just because they've got the points on the board, but they're currently in 4th, but they could slip if they do lose their final game. Castres exactly are ready to pounce if that happens. La Rochelle are currently in 6th, and they're the ones that are on the bubble. Castres have to go Sorry, La Rochelle have to go to Po next week, which is a tricky game for them.
It's tricky, yeah. I think Po got an outside chance. If they win that by 5 and get 5 points,
They need other
try
results.
bonus. Remember, bonus, you score 3 more tries in the opposition, you get a bonus point. If they do that, they got a small chance of going through, depending on other results.
The other team that could capitalise on a defeat for La Rochelle is Clermont, who are away at Montpellier. They are just 3 points behind La Rochelle.
Yeah, so I think if Po go for it and don't quite get their win and get just 4 points, it could be Clermont who sneak in, because Montpellier aren't exactly... Well, saying that, they stuffed Stade Français last week, recently. Again, it's a difficult one to call, Montpellier being up and down. So Clermont could go there and win, but they've not been in amazing form either. If La Rochelle are the team that have been improving, they should go to Po and win, because it's the kind of team, when they were playing well, they would lock down.
On that Clermont performance, by the way, half-time at home to Stade Français, they're down 6-17. It finishes 55-20, 7 second-half tries, and it was Baptiste Jonot just absolutely tearing it up. They were rampant.
Incredible scoreline. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see many scorelines like that in top 14.
No, definitely not. But yeah, they really cut loose, didn't they, in that game?
And Stade Français now, just to turn our attention to the bottom, Stade Français, they host Castres in the last game. Sorry, Clermont. It is Castres.
Yes, Stade Français got Castres at home. And Castres are going for, like, if they win, they guarantee a home barrage, which is a massive deal as well. So Castres will be gunning for that game, I imagine. They'll be going all in. So Stade Français won't have an easy one there. Castres have been on form all year. They're a great team. They can score. They can defend quite well. Stade Français just haven't been able to put it together this year. So it's going to be interesting, because Perpignan could depends what, like in Toulouse, they're winning. They've already qualified for the semis, so they're going to have a week off next week. No game. But do they want to rest? I mean, we rested our guys for the similar game to what they're doing, and didn't work for us. But what are they going to do? I don't know. Will they put out a decent team, then have a week off? Or will they just put out, again, bin juice and then have 2 weeks off? We'll have to wait and see. Because that'll make a big difference. If they send a really good team to Perpignan, they could win. If they send down a weak team, I think Perpignan, with the emotion and that stadium, how that atmosphere is going to be incredible there. I'm sure that could end up being a win for Perpignan.
Yeah, that's exactly. Joe's just absolutely summarised it perfectly. Perpignan could... Well, again, what happens if Perpignan get a point from that game and Stade Français stay where they are and they're level on 41?
I'm pretty sure. I need to read through the exact regs again, but I think it's the results between those two teams. They go to them and then decide who had the best difference.
Oh, wow. Drama. Right, well, we'll get our abacus out and sort that one out. But yeah, exactly. The permutations are absolutely all over the shop. And I want you to elaborate a little bit more on that, because let me just explain, if you didn't pick up. Toulouse are so far clear at the top. They are 17 points clear. They're home and hosed, top position, feet up during the barrage, and then they'll go in the semi-finals. But exactly as Joe said, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll want to rest up next weekend.
I mean, they got strength and depth in so many positions. They could put out a good team, maybe 9. They'll protect who they got there. A couple, maybe one or two front row. You have to see, but they could still put out a good team. Keep their guys in good nick. Keep their guys operating at this amazing level where you can never replicate that in training. So they'll keep them playing at a good level against Perpignan. Week off, then bam, semi-final. Or they decide, like, take no risk, no injuries. Let's just send down a team that's probably not going to be involved in the semi, and then we'll have a fresh team for the semi-finals. As the performance team, the manager, they're going to be discussing them all, and is going to be discussing that with his performance guys until the early hours, I'd imagine. When
they were planning it, a couple of months ago, I guess in their thinking as they were mapping this forward would have been a Champions Cup final, and I think that might be the critical part. Had they played in a Champions Cup final, then I think that might have been good news for Perpignan. As it is,
definitely.
I think it's going to be curtains for them.
Yeah, but even then, you got this team that's playing well together. it's how much time you give them off, because every time you don't play together in the right intense environment, the team unravels a little bit. It's fine for a week. Sometimes it's fine for 2 weeks. It just depends on a number of factors, but it's a risk. It's a risk. You're going to risk injuries, or you're going to risk the team not being as efficient and quick and acting together like it normally does.
There is so much to play for, and as happens every year with this one, it's always played all at the same time, and it's Saturday night, 8:05 kickoffs.
Multi-rugby.
Multi-rugby, that's UK and Ireland time, 9:05 in France. What's that night like?
It's pretty cool. They put all the games on at the same time, like you said, and you're bouncing between one game and the other, especially concentrating on these ones we're talking about, the ones that got more spicy than the rest. So, and when tries happen, they go in on that one. They've got a live table bouncing up about what happened. This is the score now. This is what's going to happen. Yeah, it's exciting. Last year, I think Cast nearly scored at the death, and just in the last minutes went out of the playoffs, for example. So yeah, there's always twists and turns. It's a very exciting weekend.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking of what a little watch along would be fun. But anyway, we've got loads coming this week, not least on the Saturday just before the top 14 final round of games. The warm up for that is the Pro D final between Grenoble and Montauban, which we are bringing you here on FR UK, so you can get warmed up for the top 14. You'll know who's going to be playing in the access match when you're watching how Perpignan and Stade Français are getting on. You're going to know which team are going to be hosting the team that we're going to find out by the end of Saturday night. We'll have more content coming your way, building up to that final and the rugby in general. And if there is a earth-shattering, mind-blowing result from Toulon later tonight, you can rest assured we'll be back on the channel soon talking about that as well. Nice one, Joe.
Catch you later.